kind of just talking about, and then asking you some questions too.
Okay.
So it kind of gets us started. Okay, we have Mr. Floyd Bryson here, and we're going to be conducting a Veterans History Project interview today. It's March 27th, 2003, and we're here at City Hall. And Mr. Bryson, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that we're going to be doing this interview today. So, what branch of service did you say that you were in?
1st Marine Division, 1st Regiment,
Okay.
Weapons Company.
And what was your rank?
Corporal. Well, not corporal, just after we went to China. I skipped BFC. I went from BFC to corporal. But that was in China.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
Where were you drafted, or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
You enlisted? Where at?
Seattle.
Seattle? And where were you living at the time? Were you living in Seattle?
No, living up in Skagit County, Hamilton.
Why'd you join?
Well, I had my folks separated when I was about maybe 6 years old. From then on, I just went from place to place to where I could find a place to live. And so, you know, when I got up to that age, and I thought, well, that's the best place for me to be, and the war was going on, so I enlisted.
Thought that was the thing to do.
Yeah, and I never was homesick because I didn't have a home to come back to.
I see. Why did you pick the branch of service that you joined?
I can't really answer that question. I don't know, but I thought the Marines were tough people, and I thought, well, I'll try that. And
You
so I
wanted to
did.
be a part.
Yeah, and the war was on.
Do you recall your first days in service? Like, you know, you enlisted in Seattle, so when you enlisted, then where did you go, or did you stay there?
No, I enlisted when I was 17, so I had to wait until I was 18. And then I think the 4th of May in '44, I got a notice, and I went from Seattle to San Diego on a bus. So
Boy, I bet you that was a long bus ride.
it was.
I bet. So you said you didn't feel homesick because you didn't have a home, but how did you feel? Were you a little nervous, or
No,
you anticipate anything?
I've been nervous a few times after I joined, but
But not at that time.
not at that time, no.
Were you excited to be doing what you were doing?
Yeah, I was thrilled. Yeah.
Good. What about boot camp?
It was tough.
Where was it?
San Diego.
San Diego? What kind of experiences did you have in boot camp?
Well, I had no problems. I just listened to what I was told to do and done what I was told to do.
I imagine there were other enlisted guys that
There
had
was.
more trouble, you know, adjusting. Sometimes I hear stories.
Our platoon, I don't think there was many people that they knew they had to listen and do what they were told to do, and so
And they just did it.
did it. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I said, I've heard stories, and I heard that boot camp can be pretty.
it was pretty rough. Yeah, but it was good. I mean, it strengthened everybody up and everything. So.
Do you remember any of your instructors at boot camp? Anybody stand out in your mind?
Well, I had 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Corporal Tubbs and PFC Buck, don't remember his first name, and Ludwig was a red-headed guy. I never did like him.
I think we all have those, don't we? But as a whole, you pretty much got along with your instructors.
Oh yeah, and I had no problem whatsoever. Fact in here said it was excellent, so
Yeah, I saw that.
did you?
Yeah. So how'd you get through it? Okay. Wasn't
Okay,
it?
yeah.
Wasn't too much of a problem?
It was, boot camp wasn't, no. know.
And so you were in which war? World War
II.
World War II?
Okinawa is the only place I was in battle,
Okay.
and that lasted for 83 days.
Wow. 83 long days, or?
83 long days, yeah.
I bet. Do you remember when you arrived there and what it was like? What were the first things that you saw?
On Okinawa?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I was probably about the first wave to go in. We went on a Higgins's boat for part of the way, and then we got too shallow and we got on a Amtrak. You know, it's like a tractor or something with wheels. It went as far as it could go, and then we waited. When it got so we could wait, we waited the rest of the way in. But we didn't have much except the ship shooting at the airplanes. You know, there was, I don't know, near 3,000 ships out there, and they were shooting at the Jap planes, and this shrapnel was coming down kind of like it rains and forks, but we survived.
So a young boy just coming from the States and meeting that kind of thing must have been a pretty interesting...
It got worse as time went along.
Yeah. When you got over there, what was your job, or what did they assign you to do right off the bat?
I was in just a weapons company. And our company, it was a regimental company, and if they needed part of our armament, well, they split us all up, so we didn't know where our company was at until things settled down. You know, they were spread out all over.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an experience. I don't want another one.
I bet you don't. Did you see combat?
Yes, man, 83 days worth.
Wow. Were there any casualties in your unit?
Some,
Mm-hmm.
but this piece of paper I have here was told about the casualties on Okinawa. You copied that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you can get that. But we killed an awful lot of Okinawa people. Said from 75,000 to 140,000 Okinawans.
Boy, that's amazing. Yep. That's casualties. Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences. I mean, just a couple of experiences that comes to your mind right off the bat.
Well, one time we went to the north end of the island to begin with, and the Japanese planes were coming in all the time and bombing and strafing and whatnot. One night I was on guard duty with a 50 caliber machine gun, and this plane was just a little over my head. And I could have shot it down, but we had troops all around there, so I didn't. And it just went on over the ocean or somewhere, and I don't know if it survived or not. But that was one experience. I could have shot it down, no doubt, because it was real low. It was, had been shot before, but that's one experience. And then another time I took I don't know why I was still a private, but I'd take 10 guys and we'd go on patrol, and we found a big artillery piece in a cave, but we didn't have anything to blow it up with, so we didn't blow it up, but we killed the people that was, running the thing. And later on I heard that the Japanese came back and they were shooting at the ships, and this thing was back in a cave, this big, I don't know, 16 feet long and big, but I don't know what caliber it might have been or whatever, but they came back and fired at the ships later on, so
Boy.
we should have blown it up, but we didn't have nothing with us to blow it up with. So.
Sounds like a dangerous mission. Now, were you a prisoner of war?
No.
Okay. Tell me about, well, that's a good thing. If you weren't a prisoner of war, Good thing. And tell me about any awards or medals or citations, because I see that you've got some there, and I know we've got a couple of copies, but can you tell me about them? Tell me what they mean.
Well, the first one is I was in combat. It's a combat ribbon, and this thing only came out a year or two ago. The presidential citation was, because we done a good job.
Sure.
And we got a presidential citation. American campaign, I really don't know. Pacific campaign was because we was in the Pacific. The victory campaign, because we came out winners. Occupation of China. We had it's in one of those things you copied. We had a typhoon after we set up our tents and things, after the fighting was all over. We had a typhoon, and that blew all of our tents down, just stripped everything.
Oh, boy.
So they just took us down, put us on a ship, and we went to China to disarm the Japanese troops that were training in China, which seems kind of odd. I mean,
it does.
And they had kids, weren't this high. Japanese, they were running out of people. So.
Oh, boy. Kids, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your family. How did you have quite a bit of family back here when you were over there?
I had one brother.
Did you stay in touch with him?
No, not during the war.
No?
And he passed away 2 years ago.
Did you stay in touch with anyone over here while you were?
No, I got a friend in Wisconsin that we still keep in touch with. And they came out twice and visited us with us, stayed a few days.
Yeah, longtime friends.
Yeah, same company. Went through boot camp together and stayed together and got in the same company. Yeah.
Boy.
I'll never forget, it rained and everything was mud, and we were all mud. And he was in a shell hole, which had filled up with water. And I'll never forget this. He was taking a bath, in the shell hole, because it was full of water. So they started mortaring us again, and he jumped up. Instead of putting his helmet on, he put a towel around me. I would have, if he'd have got hurt, I still would have laughed about it, because I said, I know what you're protecting,
Well, you know what the important things are. Some people.
I'd grab a helmet before I'd put a towel around me. He didn't.
That's really funny. Boy. One of the things that I always wonder about is, what was the food like over there? What did you eat?
It was C rations and K rations. C rations were better. And
what were they?
oh, I really can't remember. It seemed like there was a little can of chili or something in there. And I really can't remember. K rations were just hard, crunchy stuff, There was 4 days we didn't have any water, or we didn't have any food, because it rained and everything was so muddy that the only way you could move anything was with tanks, Vehicles could move. I've seen Jeeps with mud clear up to the steering wheel parked along the road.
Boy.
And they finally brought us, I think they flew the food in and dropped it. But me and a kid from Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee, we were having something to eat. And I reached over to get something out of the box, and just as I moved my head back, he grabbed his knee, and the sniper shot him through the knee. And I figured that the sniper tried to get 2 for 1, you know, but he missed me.
Good goodness. Close
Well,
call. That was a close call.
Yeah, it was. About a half a second or less.
Did you feel pressure or stress, a great deal of pressure or stress at times when you were over there?
No,
No?
no.
It was just you were over there doing what you needed to do.
Yeah.
And that was as good as it got.
I was scared a lot of times.
Yeah. But
you don't stop. I mean, you got to keep doing what you're doing.
was there anything special you did for good luck?
No.
No?
No.
Just every day.
Every day.
Was there any entertainment over there? How did people entertain themselves when, you know?
No, we were fighting. I mean,
Yeah. So it was pretty constant?
Yeah. Well, for 83 days.
83 days. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Guess you didn't have too much time for entertainment, did you?
After the island was secured, they put up a screen and we had a movie. But it really wasn't safe to go to the movie because the Japanese were still out in the cane fields with a lot of cane.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd shoot at the screen or whatever, so they'd shut it off and we'd go back to our tents.
I guess that's entertainment enough.
Yeah.
Did you get any leave in that 83 days, or was it
We got relief for about 2 days.
Uh-huh.
One time. And of course they went back and there was a stream there. So everybody was washing their clothes and we had inspection in those 2 days. I mean, they wouldn't leave us alone. And just something in the Marine Corps they had.
I don't think I'd think of that as leave.
Well, it wasn't leave. I mean, we were still on the...
You were still
there. We just got moved back from the front lines.
Right. Boy. Do you recall any particular humorous or unusual events besides the fact of the guy jumping out of the? That was very
That was
humorous.
humorous.
Yeah.
That was about it.
And grabbed the towel.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
The rest of it was pretty serious.
So if you were 83 days there, then I'm assuming that you didn't travel very much while you were there. Where did you go anywhere else?
We went to the north end of the island to begin with, and there wasn't much activity up there except this big gun, you know, with their crew and a few things. And then we turned around, and they'd had a fake landing. One division made a fake landing on the south end of the island. That drew most of the troops to the south end. They made this quite a while before we went ashore. Well, when we got to the south end, well, then it was pretty serious till it was over with.
But pretty much you were there right on the island.
Yeah. In Naha, which was the capital city of Okinawa, when we went through there, we had to stop and put our gas mask on because there was so many dead people that you couldn't stand the smell. So they trucked us through there and we got off.
Did that have any impact at all?
No.
All that, seeing that?
No, we'd seen so many dead people before, ours and theirs.
Yeah.
It's just like you seeing a stick of wood out in the brush.
It gets to that point.
Yeah, you don't pay no attention.
Mm.
You've got other things to worry about.
So it sounds like it was pretty serious the whole entire time you were over there. Were there any kind of practical jokes or pranks that you guys pulled on each other?
No. I nearly shot a lieutenant one time, and that's in the letter there.
Uh-huh.
He was on a ridge, and it was pretty bad. We'd captured one of the... We had 37 millimeter anti-tank guns. Well, they had 47 millimeter anti-tank guns. So we captured one of those, and there was ammunition there, which were, you know, about so long. So we fired that back at the Japs, their own weapon.
Their own stuff?
But we dug a foxhole and we put a tarp over it, and then I was on duty watching out in front. And this lieutenant jumped in the foxhole behind me. Well, I had my rifle and I had a .45 laying on my lap. When he jumped in, he didn't say anything. And I cocked the 45 and stuck it right in his stomach, and I was just ready to pull it. I was working on pulling the trigger and recognized him, you know. He said, "You bastard, you nearly shot me." If I had have, it would have been his fault.
Sure.
Because he should have said something before he jumped in there. But
Boy,
that scared me.
that's a close call.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
him.
That's right. What did you think of the officers or fellow soldiers that you were with that in 83 days?
They were some nice guys, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were Marines. I mean,
They knew what they
we
were.
respected all of them. Yeah. We didn't have any till after we went to China that we didn't like, and then we got some 90-day wonders trying to tell us what to do. And we didn't like that, but we didn't have no hate for anybody, really.
Sure. Sounds like you didn't have a whole lot of time
No.
to do that. It was strictly
They kept
business.
us busy.
Sure. Do you recall the day that your service ended? That you got to go home?
24th of May, 1946.
That's on the paper.
There was about 5 or 6, some guys from Idaho, some from Washington, and we were going to stop in Portland and have a big party. Well, we got a bottle of booze and went up to her room, so we had a couple of drinks, and somebody said, "Well, let's get out of here, let's go home." We didn't even stay all night. We split up and everybody went where they came from.
Huh. Well, that was probably the most important thing. You know,
Well, I think we were, you know, kind of in a hurry to get back to our neighborhood.
time to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you came, where were you when you came back? Did
Where
you
was
come
I?
back? Yeah, you came back.
San Diego.
San Diego.
Mhm.
So you came back where you started out.
Yeah.
Is that normal? I mean, is that what they usually do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's where you ended
That's
up.
what we did. When we came into San Diego, well, there was 10,000 Marines, 2 air wings, and all the sailors and all,
Mhm.
everything. So all the Marines, they went up on the upper deck, you know. We was glad to see the United States again. Well, the ship was about to tip over because there were so many people on one side, so they ran us all back down to our quarters down below.
That would have been a disaster. What'd you do in the days in the first few weeks after you got home?
Well, most of the time we were going to be checked out to see if anything was wrong with us or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and just kind of waiting. They called my name one time, said I had pneumonia. Well, there was a guy named Bryson, Brydson. Well, I went in there and I didn't have pneumonia, and I felt fine. So I said, there must be a mistake. So they looked, and it wasn't my name. The other name had a D in it. So
Oh.
he had pneumonia. How you get pneumonia, I don't know. From coming over there where it was mostly hot. You know?
Sure. Were you sick at all? Were you ever, ill in the time that you were
Yeah.
over there?
I nearly died from dysentery.
Mm-hmm.
And I said hadn't had any food for 3 or 4 days, and we didn't get any water. So it rained, and we were behind a little hump of dirt, and the trickle of water was coming down, and I had to have a drink, so I drank some. It was muddy, but I drank it. And then I really got sick. And everything was mud at that time, and I remember putting me on top of a tank to take me to the hospital, but I don't remember anything for several days after that. But I finally survived it.
They give you medicine?
Well, they had a hospital set up back behind, and I spent probably 2 weeks in the hospital, and luckily I survived because I lost several days. I don't know where they went.
Boy. Was that the only time that you were sick over there?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
There was dead Japanese all around, and the water was running over them, and I still had to have a drink. But
So for 4 days you didn't have any food or water, and the food probably wasn't as big of a problem as the water. Not having any fresh water.
Yeah.
You know, that would be
food
real.
wasn't food. I mean, it was just
The
crackers and
Yeah.
things like that.
And how did you get food and water? Did they? You said that earlier that they dropped it.
I think the airplanes dropped it. Yeah. I can't remember going anywhere to get it because we didn't want to leave our position. You know.
Sure. Now, were there any other guys in your troop that you were with on Okinawa that got sick or didn't make it, that were close to you?
No, there was some didn't make it, but I mean they were shot. And,
Sure.
but I don't know of anybody else that, you know, got sick.
Yeah.
If you did, if it wasn't too bad, you had to put up with it, you know. Yeah, we're going to let you go.
When you got back home, did you go back to work or back to school?
I went back to work.
Did you? Where at?
I worked for a timber company. At that time, it was Soundview Timber. I'd worked there. It was Lyman Timber when I first went to work there. Then I wasn't just barely 16, 17 or whatever when I first went to work there.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew the superintendent, you know, we all knew him. So he gave me a job. And then when I came back, that was with the survey crew.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back, I got the same job back. So
Lucky.
yeah. Well,
And-
they're supposed to hire you back. I mean, if
Yeah.
you survive it, they're supposed to give you your job back.
And what was the job?
I worked with survey
Survey?
crew. Yeah, there was only 3 of us. And
Did you enjoy your job
yeah.
as a
Then
job?
Then I went to scaling. You know, it was all, when they cut timber, it was all by hand, you know, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
still. And I scaled, and then I went to Bushland, and power saws came in 1950, so, and I done that from then on,
Uh-huh.
cut timber. But over there, when they started logging, they started at the bottom and just worked their way up. Well, in November, everybody was snowed out until March or April, you know. So I came over here, and then that's what I done over here. But you can work here, you know.
Sure.
You might get wet, but you can still work.
Did you ever go back to school or get any other, you know?
No.
So you had told me a little bit earlier that you had a close friend. Did you meet the friend? Did you have this close friend? Did you meet him when you were in the service?
Yeah, we went through boot camp
Boot
together.
camp?
Stayed in
And-
the same company.
Wow. And you stayed friends all these years?
Yeah,
Wow. And he came out to visit you?
twice.
Where's he from?
Clinton, Wisconsin.
Do you communicate through the year?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Christmas time, usually get cards and letters. And
So you're still friends after all these years?
yeah, he's the only one I kept in contact with.
Yeah. Did you join any veterans organizations?
I belong to VFW and Marine Corps League.
And you're still active in those?
Life member of both. Every time there's a funeral, Myron calls me up. You can't get enough guys together, so. And they want the people to work in Port Angeles, but I can't do both, you know, back and forth, so I just stick with Myron. They always have the Memorial Day thing up here.
Mm-hmm.
One time there was only 4 of us, and the bleachers was full of people, and there was only 4 of us.
I remember that.
Yeah. And when they put the flag up Memorial Day, it's only supposed to be half-mast till noon. And they don't do that. They run it clear up here. So I usually go out there and drop it down to half-mast. put it back when we leave.
Do we have the veterans put the flag up, or does someone
No,
else do it?
somebody here does it.
Well, don't you think somebody should tell them not to?
Well, I'm supposed to put it up half-mast till noon,
Until noon on Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, yeah.
And then at noon, anytime after noon, you
Raise
can...
it.
Well, somebody needs to educate us folks around here. I mean, you need to
I
do...
always just lower it myself, and then we leave, I put it back up.
need to do things right.
There's a lot of things about flags that people don't know. They should know, but they don't.
Right. You know who knows it here is Rod. He knows quite a bit about that protocol.
We was at Hungry Bear one night. Evan was late getting home, so we went down there to eat. She wanted to know what to do with the flag. They had one that was, you know, kind of ragged. I said, well, burn it. Oh, you can't burn it. I said, yes, you can. As long as it isn't burned in public, you can burn the flags that are, you know, kind of tore up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's legal. As long as it's not in the public.
It's a public display of...
Yeah.
I did not know that. So, that's what you did for a career after the war. You stayed in the timber industry.
Mm-hmm.
And what year did you move out here, did you say?
55.
55? You've been here ever since?
Yeah.
You must like it.
Too broke to leave.
Well, especially with the timber industry. I know how that goes. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about military in general?
No.
You know?
No.
No?
No. See, they attacked us, and we protected the country.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a little different. They could have attacked us, and I agree with what's going on. I mean, it's not something I disagree with. I know a lot of people do. But,
Sure.
you know, the people in Iraq, they've lived in fear all their lives. I mean, they were raised that way. I mean, and Hussein, he's a terrible person. I mean, he's killed a lot of his own people, you know. So I think if we get rid of him, and if he does have nuclear weapons, which they haven't found yet, but I think it'll be better for the people in Iraq, you know, when this settles down.
Right. So it didn't. So your war experience, your military experience, didn't leave you with any negative.
No. There's a lot of people from Vietnam that whined and cried and everything. When we came home, there was none of that. I mean, we just glad to survive and get back home.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think the difference?
Well, I don't really know. War is a war. I mean, people get killed every minute. But I think drugs is a big problem in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but that's what I think.
Well, it was.
And why they came home, probably 50 or 75% of these people that's doing all the whining probably wasn't out there doing any shooting and killing. But I don't know that either. But
It's just your opinion.
my opinion.
Yeah. What kinds of activities do you do at the VFW, or what kind of association do you have? For instance, now I know that you've just told me that you do some public things like on Veterans Day. You know, you do some things like that.
I don't come down to the VFW except when Myron calls me for funerals and Memorial Day and things like that. In Port Angeles, I do collect toys for tots here in Forest. I'm the only one out here that, I guess the rest of them has passed on or something, but I do that and starting December or something like that, and up till nearly 20th of December.
It's a good program.
Well, sometimes. We used to get a lot more toys than I do now.
Huh.
Let's see, what did I get? 313 last year is all I collected. Most of those was from Sterling Bank.
Right. They're real good at supporting.
Yeah, they are. That's the best ones. I have had 15 or 20 boxes out, you know, the Toys for Tots boxes. And the year before last, there was only 8 places that got any toys. So I decided, well, I'm not going to put boxes there and have to go from here to there and check on the boxes. So I only put out 8, and Thrifty Mart was good for a long time. In fact, I used to put 2 boxes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And this last year, last Christmas, I didn't get a toy out of Thrifty.
That's unusual.
Yeah, the post office does pretty good, which you wouldn't think. You know, they don't sell toys, but
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Marine Corps League? What is that?
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just like the VFW, more or less, and we're supposed to help each other and families. And we go to all the parades. We go to Squim. We go to Forks. We go to Joyce. We used to go to Port Townsend, but we don't do that anymore.
Huh.
And we don't have any money makers. We've had rummage sales, before. And
Sure.
first time we did that, we done pretty good, but now they don't do any good.
Is there a Marine Corps League here locally?
No, in Port Angeles.
In Port Angeles?
Yeah.
Right. Huh.
And I've had some of the younger fellows go in there and join. They do that, and then you never see them again.
Yeah. I'm going to back up just a little bit because I forgot to ask you about a real important part of your life, and that would be Mrs. Bryson. When did you meet Mrs. Bryson?
Well, before I went in the service, the first time I ever saw her was I had my appendix out. I was working, on the survey crew in 43 or something like that. And there was a Mexican kid in there had been ran over with a train and cut both of his legs off. And why these girls came in to see this Mexican, I don't know, but my wife was one of them. I think there was 4 girls, and she and these 4 girls still get together once a year at least.
Where was this at that this
in
happened?
Cedar Woolley.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't see her again until I got out of the service, which was, from 43 to 46. And then I don't know, just got together again, and 48 we got married, and pretty quick it'll be 55 years.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Any
And
children?
we still fight.
That's good. Keeps you on your toes. Any children?
2.
2 children?
Yeah. Cheryl works for the Forest Service, Falcons. You must know her. And the son, he lives here in Forks. He still works in the woods. So Ron.
55 years, huh?
April 2nd. I always say April Fool's Day, but
She knows you're joking, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I almost forgot to ask you that. That's a pretty important part of your life. Well, let's get back to your military life. Do you ever attend any reunions? Does your
No, I never. I always watch that. I get these magazines and tell which outfit's going to have a reunion and where. But I never. Our weapons company for the 1st Division. The 1st Division has had reunions, but not didn't specify weapons company. So, and I wouldn't know anybody now anyway. I can't remember my own name half the time.
But your company has had reunions.
Not that I know of.
Huh. How many people were in? How many guys were in your?
Oh, probably over 200, 250 or something like that. Because we had all kinds of weapons, and like I said, if we were attached to the regiment, if they needed flame throwers, or we only had half tracks in, like a tank. It wasn't a tank. It was rubber, half rubber tired and half steel tread. And we had all kinds of machine guns and bazookas and everything. So if anybody in the regiment needed any part of our outfit, well, that's where they went. And till the war was over, we didn't know whether any of them survived or what, you know. So
Oh,
we
okay.
got back together finally, but
I thought I saw on one of your pieces of paper that I have copied about, I think it was a sharpshooter.
yeah, that's what
Is that right?
yeah, it's on this.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you got it.
I think so. I think that's the one.
Like my copy of the discharge, yeah.
Yep, I think that's what it was. So, there it is. Sharpshooter. And it was a rifle. So you were pretty good at that?
No, fair.
Yeah.
But I had all kinds of, you could pick up any kind of weapon you wanted, you know, people getting killed and they drop their weapons. And you could pick up a submachine gun, or I used a BAR most of the time. It was fired 20 rounds, and it was heavy, weighed 17 pounds. But
When you picked up these weapons, did you have to have training, or was it kind of training on site?
you may, if you pick them up, well, we knew how to dismantle every rifle. There
Okay.
was submachine guns, handguns, everything. We knew all that. I don't anymore, but I did.
Was it
So we
interesting?
clean them up.
It was an interesting...
Well, you know, we only took one weapon at a time. We did, might use a submachine gun a while, and then the BAR a while, and the carbine or whatever. But you couldn't go nowhere without a weapon.
Right. How did your service and experiences that you had over there, how did it affect your life?
The only thing I know is I can't sit in the house. I mean, I can't sit still. I got to be out doing something. So it might have been because we were just kept on the move all the time in the service. I don't know if I've always been that way, but I am, yeah,
Always on the go.
always on the go. Yeah.
Keeps you busy.
Keeps you healthy.
We were talking a little bit earlier, Mr. Bryson, regarding the fact that there's so many people who don't know about war, all the wars that we've had, and the experiences that the soldiers have had over there. And this is a big part of this project. Do you feel that it's real important to...
I've always said after World War II that the war should have hit the United States so the people would know what a war is. With the little thing we had there where they shot the towers down, that don't mean nothing to people that's in other states, you know. They might, unless they had some relative or friend or something.
Sure.
But that's not like a war. I mean, people in the United States don't know what a war is. You got to be there and go through it, and then you realize how bad it is. But we've never, United States has never experienced that. So
No, they haven't. How important do you feel that it is to capture the history and the knowledge that folks like yourself have?
well, you can't tell anybody else because they don't know, and they don't. If you don't talk about the war. I mean, you might with somebody that you was associated with in the war, you might talk about it. But if you talk with other people, they don't believe it. It don't sink in.
It's not the same unless you've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I think that there's some of us that feel that it's extremely important to know the stories. It's living history.
Well, yeah, it is. It's getting that way.
Yes, it is. It really
Getting older every day.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't covered? You know, anything that had happened during your service?
No,
No.
it's just something that you have to do, and you know, there's thousands and thousands of us, and there's no problem. I mean, everybody follows orders.
Well, at least we try.
Well, we had to.
Mm-hmm. Discipline was really, and it still is,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
I've never been in the service, but I assume that discipline is a very important part of the service. And
And I think it's great. And I think a lot of these young kids that gets in trouble should go into some branch of the service. I don't know if all branches of the service are the same or not, but Marine Corps is pretty strict. And after you've been there and learned how to obey orders, well, you enjoy that. I mean,
what do you think that the experiences that you had in the Marine Corps, what do you think are the positive aspects of that? What did it teach you?
taught me how to kill people. But,
I'm not sure if that's the positive side.
well, I don't know. I've never been in any trouble or anything, and I think the Marine Corps is a great place for kids that get into trouble,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they learn discipline. And instead of giving orders, they learn how to obey orders, you know. Just like parents talking to the kids, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. Well, that's not the way it should be.
Well, you're probably right about that. Well, if there aren't any other additions, Mr. Bryson, I certainly would like to thank you for sharing the information that's yours, you know, and
Yeah.
talking to us a little bit about that.
I guess it's something everybody should do.
I agree, and I thank you very much.
Okay.